Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Wednesday, October 28, 2020. Fox report. Strong typhoon slams Vietnam, at least 2 dead, 26 missing. Hanoi, Vietnam. AP. Typhoon Molave slammed into Vietnam with destructive force Wednesday, killing at least 2 people and sinking 2 fishing boats with 26 crew members in what was feared to be the most powerful storm to hit the country in 20 years. Winds of up to 150 kilometers (93 miles) per hour killed a man by knocking him off his roof as he was trying to reinforce it in south-central Quang Ngai province.
Al Jazeera report. 2 accused in 2015 Mali attacks found guilty, sentenced to death. 2 men were found guilty and sentenced to death in Mali on Wednesday for the killing of more than 24 people in attacks targeting foreigners in 2015. After the announcement of the guilty verdict, Fawaz Old Ahmed and his co-defendant Sadou Chaka were sentenced to death. The court finds you guilty of the facts you are accused of and does not grant you any mitigating circumstances, said the president of the Bamako Criminal Court, Soli Maiga, after 2 days of hearings.
Al Jazeera report. Trump's COVID-19 response angers former supporters. For months, Tony Green believed the conspiracy theories. The coronavirus was a hoax masterminded by the mainstream media and the Democratic Party to bring down United States President Donald Trump ahead of the presidential election, he thought. But then the 43-year-old from Dallas, Texas, got sick, as did 14 members of his extended family after he hosted a get-together in June. 2 of his relatives, aged 52 and 69, later died from COVID-19.
CNN report. Why Obama saved his harshest critiques of Trump until the campaign's end. Barack Obama held back his most biting critiques of President Donald Trump in the first years of his post-presidency, hoping the lack of constant attacks would make his voice even more powerful at a time he thought it was most needed. That time, Obama believes, is now. The former president, according to people close to him, sees his years of holding back on Trump as key to his ability to forcefully attack his successor on behalf of Joe Biden, his former running mate and the man running to unseat a president who has made sullying Obama's legacy central to his political rise.
BBC report. FBI charges Chinese agents who coerced dissidents. The 5, and 3 others believed to be in China, face charges of trying to coerce people to go to China to face punishment. Those charged are said to be a part of an operation called Foxhunt, which China says targets fugitives but critics say is aimed at communist opponents. The FBI said China was violating norms and laws left and right. Court documents say the accused were charged with conspiring to act as illegal agents of the People's Republic of China.
Fox report. Group of Mississippi inmates baptized. We hope this is a new start, authorities say. A Mississippi sheriff's office said it hopes a group of inmates will have a new start after being baptized last week. 17 inmates, all of whom are serving time at a facility in Collins, Miss. Were baptized last Tuesday by the ministry provided by the Covington County Sheriff's Office, according to the office's Facebook page. We hope this is a new start and will change the lives of these and many more, the Post read.
BBC report. Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. Missile strike on Azeri town kills 21 civilians. Dozens more were reportedly wounded in the strike on the Azeri town of Barda, not far from the ongoing clashes. Armenia has denied carrying out the attack, and accused Azerbaijan of targeting a maternity ward in the area. Fighting over the region of Nagorno-Karabakh erupted on the 27th of September. The mountainous territory is officially part of Azerbaijan, but run by ethnic Armenians. Azerbaijani presidential spokesman Hikmet Hajiev said Armenian forces had used cluster munitions to inflict excessive casualties among civilians in Barda, in central Azerbaijan.
Fox report. USPS worker charged with dumping ballots, as mail carriers perform extra trips before Election Day. Another employee for the U.S. Postal Service is facing federal charges in the latest instance where mail-in ballots were discovered dumped in the trash in Kentucky. Similar cases have been seen in the key battleground state of Pennsylvania over the past few weeks, as a record number of Americans are casting their ballots by mail this year amid the coronavirus pandemic. Ballot drop boxes have also been set ablaze in separate incidents in Boston and outside Los Angeles recently.
Deutsche Welle report. Algeria's president transferred to German hospital amid coronavirus scare. Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune was transferred to a hospital in Germany Wednesday for medical checkups, state TV reported. The 75-year-old president said on Saturday that he was self-isolating after several senior aides tested positive for coronavirus. Tebboune was sent to Germany for in-depth medical examinations on the recommendation of medical staff, according to a televised statement from Tebboune's office that did not specify what he is being treated for.
Deutsche Welle report. Coronavirus. France announces second lockdown. France will enter a new coronavirus lockdown on Friday until at least December. French President Emmanuel Macron announced the new restrictions in a speech from the Élysée Palace after an emergency meeting. The rules apply to all of France and there will be an exception for the upcoming All Saints holiday weekend. Authorities will reassess the situation in 15 days. We were all surprised by the acceleration of the epidemic. We must remain united and in solidarity and not give in to the poison of division. This is a difficult time, but it is a sign of who we are, women and men who are bound together.
Fox report. New York City police arrest 32 during overnight unrest after fatal police shooting in Philadelphia. At least 32 people were taken into custody in New York City during overnight protests in the wake of the Philadelphia police-involved shooting death of Wayne Wallace Jr., officials said Wednesday. 5 people received summonses and 27 others were arrested on charges of assault on a police officer, obstruction of government administration, possession of graffiti instruments and disorderly conduct, a New York Police Department spokesperson said in an email to Fox News.
CNN report. Eyes on Barrett as SCOTUS looks at North Carolina voting appeal. A new petition filed with the Supreme Court late Tuesday highlights the impact that Justice Amy Coney Barrett could play, not only as her vote applies to current voting disputes but any post-election challenges over procedures like ballot counting. At issue is a state court's authority to rule on its own state laws when it comes to election procedures. While several justices on the High Court have made their inclinations public, the full court has yet to weigh in.
CNN report. Former DIA official sentenced to 7 years in prison for $4.4 million scam. A former Drug Enforcement Administration spokesman was sentenced on Wednesday to 7 years behind bars for posing as a CIA employee to dupe several people and companies in a $4.4 million scheme. Garrison Kenneth Courtney pleaded guilty in June to 1 count of wire fraud for tricking unidentified public officials into believing he worked as an undercover agent and asset for the CIA in order to bilk 13 unidentified companies out of millions of dollars.
Al Jazeera report. Ivory Coast. Old political rivalries spark new fears of violence. Millions of people in Ivory Coast on Saturday will cast ballots in a high-stakes election that, until recently, many had hoped would help usher in a new generation of leaders. Instead, due to a series of both expected and unexpected events, voters have witnessed the rerun of an old, and increasingly tense, political drama. The 4 candidates, approved by the Constitutional Council, are President Alassane Ouattara, 78, former President Henri Conan-Bedi, 86, former Prime Minister Pascal Affi-N'Guessan, 67, and independent candidate Kouadio Conan-Bertin, 51.
BBC report. Poland abortion. Voices of Poles divided over near total ban. On Wednesday, a women's strike brought more rallies to Polish cities and it was expected to culminate with a protest outside Parliament in the capital Warsaw. The court ruling outlaws abortion on the grounds of severe health defects, which accounted for 98% of all legal terminations in Poland in 2019. One opinion poll on Wednesday suggested 59% of Poles disagreed with the ruling. Abortion is now possible only where a mother's health is at risk or in cases of rape or incest.
Deutsche Welle report. Coronavirus Digest. Italy posts record infection numbers as Europe locks down. Despite the surging infection rates, government-imposed safety measures have enraged citizens. On Tuesday evening, police fired tear gas after demonstrators rallied across the country against nationwide coronavirus restrictions. Members of the neo-fascist political party Forza Nuova New Force clashed with police in the Rome central Piazza del Popolo. The northern cities of Milan and Turin saw scenes of unrest from Monday into Tuesday, after the Italian government imposed the most severe restrictions since the end of the main lockdown in June.
CNN report. Author of 2018 anonymous op-ed critical of Trump revealed. The anonymous senior Trump administration official who wrote a 2018 New York Times op-ed and a subsequent book critical of President Donald Trump is Miles Taylor, he revealed in a statement to CNN on Wednesday. Taylor, who was chief of staff to Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, wrote a lengthy statement explaining why he penned the 2018 op-ed declaring he was part of the resistance inside the Trump administration working to thwart Trump's worst inclinations.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. Recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.